Good day to all. Myself Raja Nirmalkumar. I am here to explain about sustainability in semiconductor industry. A stakeholder analysis. Let me explain about my background. The functioning in semiconductor manufacturing sector with an emphasis on automation. Also involving in control measures in all total chemical management function and operations, maintaining and supporting uninterruptedly to chemical supply for wafer management. I also implemented projects in IoT and automation fields and projects.
Why I select in semiconductor industry? Today in modern technology it depends heavily on the semiconductor industry, which drives everything from computer and smartphone to electric car and artificial intelligence application. Some countries like Europe, South Korea, Japan, China, and United States contribute primacy production centers or the primary production centers, and each has a unique capabilities in the innovation and manufacturing. Semiconductor manufacturing is a resource-sensitive technology which requires high energy consumption and extensive chemical use and significant emissions of greenhouse gases. Environmental management have a sustainability issue. The industry use a huge amount of energy per MI in their process. Also, it requires enormous of amounts of water. Meanwhile, semiconductor foundries produce chemical, electrical, and hazard components. Without adequate management, the chemical cannot be determined to both human health and environment. According to the Sustainable Development Goals, semiconductor industry comes under the 7 SDG, which is ensuring using the renewable energies like solar, wind, and also using the renewable energy from other country resources. They also refer to the SDG 13, performing immediate solution for climate action changes by reducing waste management and greenhouse gas emissions. As per the ecological dimension environment footprint, the dimensions like acid rain and solid and water acidification which worsen the chemical change. Proper recycling can mitigate the environment, health, and economic implication of disposing solid waste, which causes the ecological devastation. Next, we can see for the economic dimension, so obstacles and possibilities. For a circular economy, company have to reduce resources and energy usage. Maybe can reuse and extend product life and use non-hazard materials and renewable energy. To balancing the economic growth and environmental effect, industrial sector must be sustained with the environment. The ecosystem aims to startups, ideas, and manufacturing technologies to drive sustainable economic development. Industrial economic scope of industrial economics such as industrial efficiency, diversification, and industrial finance and industrial location. The social dimensions, which shows the fairness and accountability. Working together with customers and partners and suppliers strengthen the human rights, labor, and environment, health, safety, and ethics. Employees can submit comments and grievances in a safe environment without fear of retaliation. Collaborate with responsible minerals initiative as eliminate forced labor and slavery and human traffic. Now we see about the stakeholders' internal environment, which has most engaged environment, least engaged environment, two-sided communication, one-sided communication. So first we see the government. The government, which comes under the two-sided communication and most engaged stakeholders. Government sometimes have pressure drives cooperation to embrace standards of instant government imposed standard must be adopted. External groups such as IOs may exert pressure on the semiconductor sector. Company may embrace standards due to initiative pressure from large sectors. Several scientists have identified three sorts of factors that drive the adoption of quality of standards. Second, we going to see about the stakeholders, NGOs, and local communities. The stakeholders like NGO, which have the charitable CSR effect, provide regular communication with community. There is a short-term interaction with NGOs and the academic lab integration into the invention ecosystem. Stakeholders, each as a partner, and NGOs and local communities gets only a one-way communications. Here also we can see the NGO relationship in influence. The NGO have the relationship in influence with the local community, political actors, and the business actors. Next, we're going to see about the stakeholders, three investors and business owners. Business diplomacy involves maintaining an open dialogue and implementing risk management system. This step enhances firms' risk management capacity by involving several stakeholders. As these diverse effects of risk and factors, trust and support among stakeholders, investors and consumers. However, investors have a crucial role in the semiconductor business, influencing voting rights and navigating meeting through active engagement. We can see as an example of ASML company has hosted numerous ESG investor conference, showcase and sustainability survey to increase investor knowledge of sustainable investing and ESG practice. There is to build a confidence and attract investment. Organizations should openly disclose their business as investor need semiconductor business to include environmental goals into their business strategies. Next, we see for the business recommendation for the semiconductor industries. The volume of water recycled in the semiconductor industry manufacturing companies have to be considered to use of less water volume. Designing a water recycle structure and parks that produce semiconductor. This here we can see about the water recycle rate for all the semiconductor industries which located in the countries. Also, we can see the water recycling process which is attached in the figure. So it plays a vital role for the water recycling, which get an advantage of using a large amount of water. Also, the create supplier concentrating cluster connect downstream industry to semiconductor industries. The benefits recommendation also aim to intentional evaluation and starting with supply chain segment that have lower entry barriers. Next, we see about the business benefits. To achieve future decarbonization goals, semiconductor manufacturing must emphasize sustainable energy solutions. The semiconductor industry is experiencing an important trend toward renewable energy sources. By 2020, China's non-fossil power share is expected to exceed one-third, while coal proportion will decrease to around 60% in US. The wind and solar power are predicted to account for 18% of electricity power. In the figure, we can see the China electricity produced from the non-soil fuels. The chart describes clearly about that. My conclusion is about decarbonizing the semiconductor industry is very urgent. Effective mitigation is required together with technology innovation and process optimization. Maintaining best relationship with stakeholders while ensure smooth business. ESG and SDG will be important to semiconductor manufacturing to find obstacles in footprint. However, useful to achieve sustainable goal for green environment to future communities. That's all from my side. Thank you.